I am indeed, Tom. Yeah, Division 1 of this 1 mile novice, restricted novice. We've got a previous winner in here, a couple of previous winners, but also allowances for what band they're from as well. So the penalty structure doesn't work out exact or in actuality. We have got 10 in here. I'll try and take you through all of them. Number 8 is John Jay, who is a big old price here. Charlie Bishop Mick Shannon was 33-1 for debut. That was a race won by Icy Dip. That came over course and distance. Will want to come on a good bit for that. Every chance that a bit of improvement will be forthcoming, but would need a good bit after that debut effort, and is a fair bit bigger here. There's still a few more coming in. So that is the Mick Shannon horse. Drop back to the horse behind, who I'm hoping I can be helped out with a number for. It might be Tyndrum, but I don't want to absolutely... Oh, it's Tom Ward's rug. There you go. Garrick Painter, this is. Number 3, Ross Orion on board. There was definite promise with the effort last time at Chelmsford. Every chance that the step up in trip will suit, particularly given how he shaped late on. He stayed on really nicely. And... I wouldn't go so far as to say unlucky, but just had to wait for the effort as well. So one of the more likely ones here based upon that effort. That debut came 29 days ago. Son of Zophany, and yeah, I do expect a little bit further to suit here. We're going to drop back 2 horses for identification purposes to the blue rug with the light blue trim on it, and that is Marco Botti's Strategia, who's had 2 goes so far. This is the 3rd effort, so Mark will be given off the back of this. But there's been definite promise on 2 starts over 7 furlongs. Took a step forward from the Kempton debut over this course and distance with the Newcastle run last time. And every chance that the step up to a mile and another effort will bring about a little bit more improvement. We'll probably want to, based upon what we've seen, given what the principal in the betting has run to and what this son of Shalar has managed so far. But you'd stay largely positive based upon the step forward from first start to second start. Drop back 2 horses again to number 7, and that is Fantastic Artist, Finley Marsh for Ali Strong. Came out of the Icy Dip race, was about 4 lengths ahead of John Jay on that occasion, but 150 to 1, and you would want to see a little bit more to give him any sort of chance here. Another son of Zophany, actually, alongside now that the rug has come off. Cross noseband on, 1 handler, but up against it here, I think it's fair to say. We're going to jump forward 1 to number 6. That was a horse I skipped. Number 6 is Rogue Tornado for Kieran Fallon and Tom Clover. Came out of the Tyndrum Gold race last time, but didn't have the smoothest passage through that. Tyndrum Gold, who came out of 8, won quite nicely, we know. That race had an odds-on shot in it, Naxos, who was, I thought ran okay actually, just bumped into a newcomer in the form of Tyndrum Gold. But Rogue Tornado came out at 12 on that occasion and just couldn't really get into it. So you wouldn't be too harsh on him based upon that. He never really got a clear shot, didn't really get a chance to finish off the race, and I think we'll see a better performance. We'll want to. He's a cracksman. There's every chance that further in time and a little bit of time will suit this horse, but no forlorn hope today. And we'll finish up over the far side is number 10, who effectively is 2 back from the horse we've just done. That is See the Buckthorn for David Probert and Kevin Philippart the Foy. This is a gelded son of See the Moon. Starting off over the mile, I think makes sense. For all further in time will suit. There is a little bit of pace on the dam side. And, yeah, well, I can't really get the best look at this horse. But you'd imagine it'll be up against it based upon what form we have on offer. But equally, you wouldn't want to absolutely discount juveniles from this yard. But, yeah, I think... further and a bit of time will see this horse in a better light, and particularly given what the likes of Tyndrum Gold, what the likes of Stenton Glider have achieved on their respective debuts. OK, those that we have missed, which includes Tyndrum Gold, apologies, we'll pick up out on track.
The Opulence Thoroughbreds are already having a great day. This ownership group, they had a really impressive winner with Stuart Williams at Lingfield earlier, and they've got the odds-on favourite in the next race with Stuart Williams, a winner again under a penalty. But this horse, he was so impressive when he won relatively unfancied for a Roger Varian newcomer, but he sat prominent on the outside from his wide draw, and he just stayed on really well down the stretch, getting the better, as we're going to see, of a previous winner, which will be Naxios. And Jack Mitchell rode him that day. He keeps them out. I mean, this horse was just cantering through this race like he'd done it a bajillion times before. He was not keen, very, very square, very ready to go. And then Jack just tips him out and asks him to run. The Red Silks on the inside in about fifth was the odds-on favourite. Naxios, who was a previous winner, was under a penalty. But Jack just asks Tyridium Gold to go. A little bit of hesitance, a little bit of greenness, and then he just grinds it down the outside. I can see why they brought him to Kempton for debut, because this long stretch would definitely suit a little bit more. But he's a big, big horse, and I think he'll carry the penalty, just brush it away with ease.
He is quite notably sizey, isn't he, Dave? And has got a lovely scopy sort of size to him. There is number 7, who's going down rodeo style. That is the jockey Finley Marshall, fantastic artist, who looked a little bit, well, a little bit naughty, I would say, coming down the chute. Just the one start so far for that one. But Dave, back to the race itself, and were you impressed with Tyndrum Gold first start?
Yeah, it was. It was a sort of long sweeping run, wasn't it? La Napoule, who is Tyndrum Gold's dam, was a sister to La Cucaracha, who won loads of group races, including the Nunthorpe a few years ago. Yeah, there was much to like about that, no question about it. I thought, though, that there was also... I think Tyndrum Gold is bred to be a better horse than Stenton Glider. But I thought there was much to like about the latter's debut victory at Chester. Who have we got there?
That is Stenton Glider, I believe.
Stenton Gold, isn't it? Yeah. Stenton Glider, sorry. What's going on there?
Looks like there was a bit of tack issues, but the way she's behaving, potentially, she doesn't want to go down.
Yeah, being a bit tricky on the walkway, seeing Tom say so.
Yeah.
Maybe just having other ideas about it.
She certainly looked in need of the experience when she scored at Chester. It looked as though it could easily have been too much for her that afternoon, and yet she won in decent style that day. That was over 7 furlongs. I think that the step up to a mile here will be of benefit, and there was much to like about it that day. Relatively unfancied in the betting, beat Sir Michael Stout train 1-4 shot pre-pence that day, but it may well have been that it may well have been that the favourite underperformed, but they were 4 lengths clear of the third horse, and I thought that was that Stenton Glider, she did an awful lot wrong, and yet still managed to win with authority.
Yeah, the one interesting about her was straight off the back of the Chester win. Hugo Palmer was giving an interview, and he said that they're looking straight at listed company, particularly potentially the Montrose Stakes at Newmarket, but she's been off for 2 and a bit months. She said it also was a big filly and needs time to grow, so potentially they might have pushed once, maybe had a proper bit of work and just went, no, we're gonna just take a step back. But it's interesting that they thought she was listed grade, they gave her the break, and they're bringing her back now in December.
I think that's the last point of that is the most interesting one, isn't it? You know, because if in aspiring to go listed class and thinking, right, okay, this is what we'll do, then you get to the beginning of December and think, well, no, we'll still bring her back for this. I think that's interesting, I must say. Then
again, Hugo Palmer does have a very good record at pinpointing travelling experiences with his horses. So whether this is, and I'm not necessarily saying Dubai, which is where everybody thinks, but you know, some of the smaller jurisdictions, maybe your Bahrains and some of those Turf Series handicaps, or Qatar, they're going to have their big international festival that Hugo's got a great record in. But it's just interesting that they've brought her back. She looks $1 million. She still has her summer coat compared to some of these look like they've just been pulled out of the field and clipped, but she still has her summer coat. She doesn't look like she's been clipped. But the behavior aspect here, there's nobody there at Kempton. The lights, yeah, a lot of horses haven't seen floodlights before, but I mean, she's acting like this is her first day of school,
Yeah,
that she
it's
didn't
weird,
really
isn't it?
learn anything
Yeah.
at Chester.
She's learned nothing from Chester at all. It's weird.
Yeah, James Doyle doing his best to get her down to the start. He's done quite well so far, I think. Not too far away, hopefully, from the off time. We're past post time now for this 6 o'clock. But the two leaders in the market are both winners so far. Quickly, anything, Rachel, from those of the outsiders?
Yeah, 9-10 to 1. The 3-horse Garrick Painter finished third at Chelmsford over 7 furlongs on debut, was drawn in the parking lot in stall 11, stayed on from mid-div, had to wait and switch out, was best of the debutantes in that race. He absolutely flew late. I think the extra furlong will suit, Kempton will suit, and not drawn as wide, albeit in 9 as opposed to 11, will definitely suit. And the price is a lot more interesting than odds on.
OK, lovely stuff. Tyndrum Gold now 6 to 4 on. Stenton Glide 100 to 30. Just looking further down, Rogue Tornado 40s into 20. So a bit of a market move for that one. Number 6 for Kieran Fallon and Tom Clover. Let's get back out to Tom. Tom, some reluctance on the way to post from Fantastic Artist and notably Stenton Glider.
Yeah, definitely from Stenton. She was playing up on the way out when James Doyle was on board. They then parted company. I think that was by design from James Doyle rather than accident, but he then walked her down, but she was proving very tricky. She's clearly got ability. We saw that when 18 to 1 winner at Chester on debut. Notable that was a while ago, and notable her demeanour here. For all she's settled down with one of the stalls handlers now, having got a hold of her, and James Doyle on board with his feet in the iron. So she looks okay now, I think. Stenton Glider, which I think is a type of bicycle. Well, I spoke too soon. She's not happy. So that's not great. She's meant to go into stall number 6. Be a real shame if she doesn't make it in here. I won't get ahead of myself, because I thought she adds a real bit of intrigue to the race. What we know about Tyndrum Gold means that, yes, he has to be a warm water towards the top of the betting. I really liked what he did when defeating Naxos, who was odds on debut. You know, he as Rachel said, and we watched it back, tanked through the race. He was just far, far too good for them. However, with a horse like Stenton Glider in there, she just makes it all the more interesting as a race, because she was a turf winner over shorter on debut a while ago, but could well be up to this, but she's just being tricky. I'm not just following the move here. Rogue Tornado, who was in the Tyndrum Gold race, I thought was priced up on account of can't reverse the 10-length drubbing. But I didn't think that was quite right, or the disparity in the prices, given where he was drawn at a 12 and given how the race just didn't develop ideally. Now, I think that he will certainly appreciate further in time, but if he took a step forward for the run, I thought at the prices, I just thought he was a bit forgotten, particularly given a better draw here and with that experience behind him. Equally, it's hard to see him, even with a, £7 reversal, reversing that form with Tyndrum Gold. But I thought at the prices he was very interesting. He made a little bit more appeal to me than the likes of Strategy and Garrick Painter, who were a good bit shorter, as I say, because I thought he was priced up, given that he came out the same race as Tyndrum Gold. But this filly, daughter of Dandy Man, is being very tricky. There are a few that have loaded and a few more to go in. Those that have been in a little while, so that's going to mean that they don't give her too many chances, I think, given that some are already in. So, yeah. I thought when James was on board, I thought she was going to go forward, because she suddenly looked all right. This is not going to be an easy battle to win whatsoever, I'm afraid. Garrick Painter, I haven't touched upon a huge amount. The extra distance should suit off the back of Chelmsford, son of Zophany. Tom Ward's, his horses are in good enough nick at the moment. We saw that with Intricate Pillar winning our opening race, who took a big step forward from first to second start. Yeah, they've not won that battle, I'm afraid. That's a real shame for this race. Whether or not they give her one last go at the very end, they probably will. But I'm not too hopeful about that. Jack Mitchell on board Tyndrum Gold again. He was very positive about her for that debut success, quite rightly. and the expectation is that he's going to go and score again under the penalty. But you see back a shot, Stenton Glider has James Doyle back on board. So what they're going to do, I think, John, is that they're going to load up the rest of them, maybe try once more with Stenton Glider, but you wouldn't be too hopeful.
Like it's going to happen, does it, Tom? So Immersion is in, Stenton Glider dismounted once again by James Doyle. Everything else in the starting stalls. And they're off and racing. They've gone without number 2, Stenton Glider, who did not go into the starting stalls. And clearly, with her not running, there's going to be significant implications if you've had a bet here. More on that after the race. But in the early stages, Rogue Tornado got away well. Strategia pulling hard in a steadily run early couple of furlongs. She's now worked her way to the lead. Garrick Painter is just in behind them in third, and Tyndrum Gold in fourth place, or sharing third at the very least. See the Buckthorn is just towards the outside of those, racing in company with Ranger Thunderbolt. And then we have John Jay at the back with Immersion, and just last of all is Fantastic Artist. So they move then out of the back straight and back towards home. Strategia with the advantage over Rogue Tornado in second place. Tyndrum Gold is in third, and Garrick Painter just ridden along now in fourth place. Ranger Thunderbolt is in fifth. In sixth is See the Buckthorn on the outside. Small break to John Jay, who is next in company with Fantastic Artist, and Immersion is toiling very badly at the back end of the field. Down they come to the final 2 furlongs. Strategia tries to up the ante a little bit. Tyndrum Gold in second place and now moving alongside for a share of the lead. Tyndrum Gold, Strategia. They're on from Garrick Painter in third place, who's still plugging on. And another break then to Ranger Thunderbolt and the staying on See the Buckthorn. Tyndrum Gold, though, in front has shaken off Strategia, and Garrick Painter not closing fast enough to trouble the long odds-on favourite. Tyndrum Gold wins well. Garrick Painter up for second place. Strategia was third.
And Tyndrum Gold wins easily under the penalties. Looks a nice horse, doesn't it, in the Opulence Thoroughbreds colours. They'll be looking for that being the first of a quick-fire double for them, having the market leader in Division 2 of this restricted novice. Wins very nicely under the penalty, just edged out towards the centre of the track in the end. But I thought Jack Mitchell was always pretty comfortable. He gave him time to go up through the gears, and he's put the race to bed pretty comfortably from Garrick Painter and Strategia, who took them along. Obviously, there's going to be a chunky old rule for there because Stenton Glider didn't go in. That's a real shame for the race as well, because she added that much intrigue to it. But take nothing away from the winner, who has again tanked through the race. Jack Mitchell had to urge him here just to go and pick up Strategia. And then challenging on his outside was Garrick Painter, who has stayed on and I think definitely appreciated the step up in distance. Garrick Painter, who switched to the outside, but at this point the Opulence Thoroughbreds horse, trained by Roger Varian, Tyndrum Golds, was going far too easily and put the race to bed conclusively. Rogue Tornado, don't necessarily think has gone on from that first start, and has probably been beaten by a similar amount. So there's the winner, Tyndrum Gold. Great shame, Tom, that we didn't see Stenton Glider, but this horse, 2 from 2.